Last 16 matches get underway here. Elliot Slessor, of course, like everyone else, has earned his place in this tournament. 12th on the one-year list. Got to that semi-final in early season in Saudi Arabia. Huge money tournament. And he's been knocking on the door to try and win his first big title. And I think, Joe, in terms of sort of his progression towards that, these are the sort of matches that are going to tell us a lot. You know, it's a big stage. He's playing the world champion.
Yeah, this is where you have to sort of prove your worth. You know, you can do all the hard work, climbing the rankings, putting yourself in position, but ultimately, this is where you have to produce your best snooker. And, well, he's got a tough test facing him this evening, but I don't think he'll be frightened at all. He's coming here in good form. And he's got a game that can actually beat anybody. He's very consistent, very solid, very determined. You know, I'm not sure anyone tries harder than Elliot Slessor. If you just look at his facial expressions on the shot, he's giving it everything.
Well, an early starter here after Xintong missed the long red. Yeah, of course, there's only one meeting between them. He was in the final qualifying round of the World Championship last season. Remember, Xintong had to win 9 matches altogether, and there's a very strong argument that Slessor played the best of anyone against him. It was 10-8, but he was 6-2 down in that match, Slessor. He took it to very nearly a decider. They had 3 centuries each, another 4 breaks each over 70. Real high quality. No one else got that close to him.
7.
Yeah, he's a player that's just year on year seems to have got better. His game's improved. Every aspect of his game just seems to be improving season on season. And the
15.
big thing for me is his temperament. It was always something that was very suspect. But he's worked on it. He still shows the odd bit of emotion, but you know, there's no harm in that as long as it doesn't affect your performance. An early opportunity here.
22.
Got no choice here but to bring reds into play. It's just whether he can just judge the cannon on the reds nicely, bring himself back for black. Well, he's gone the other way, and there's a demonstration early on of
23.
just how much cue power Elliot Slessor possesses. That cue ball fizzed out of that pack there. And one good shot here on the blue, and you can reap the rewards of bringing more reds into play.
Well, one thing to say right at the start, these two are joint top in terms of deciders won this season. They've each won 14. So if it goes 5-all, I don't know what happens then, but they've both won between them the most deciding frame finishes of the season.
29.
And of course, Slessor won a series of them against real top players in Saudi Arabia to get to the semi-finals. John Higgins, Stuart Bingham, Mark Williams in successive rounds.
$31. $32. $39. $40. $47.
Going along nicely here. Break up to 47. So not enough open reds to win the frame at this visit. He's going to have to bring one of the 5 reds in the middle of the table into play.
48.
Can do it here. He'd love to hit the middle red. That line of 3, he just hit that one. It brings everything into play. You could see, just caught the first red. He was just trying to, we'll see it again, just trying to go past
55.
the first red and hit the middle one. So this red is still potable, but very, very close together, the balls. Have to be careful.
Leave quickly, please.
Well, a gentleman chose that moment to walk out. Been pretty good so far, hasn't it? He's in Slessor's eye line is the point.
56.
Yeah, nicely done. Big chance now, not got much more to do. Zhao Xintong took on a long red, didn't get it, and Slessor has stepped in. Exactly what he was looking for as well to settle. This is his first time in the tournament, Elliot Slessor.
63.
It's a big, big event to get in the first place. He's playing the world champion. He knows he's got to produce a high-quality performance tonight, so this is really the perfect start.
64.
Absolutely, and it's sending a message out as well, isn't it, to his opponent that if you do miss, you're going to get punished. And all that's going to do is make the long reds that Zhao Xintong attempts more difficult because there's jeopardy
71.
attached to them. So the perfect start from Elliot Slessor. Beautifully constructed break. And it'd be nice to see him go on and make a century in the opening frame.
$79. 80.
Yeah, he's already made 3 more centuries this season than he did last, so again, just more
86.
evidence of the improvements in his game.
Thank you. 87. 94.
Well, this really is laying down a marker, isn't it? To the man, of course, who won the
95.
last tournament, the World Grand Prix, in such fine style. Zhao Xintong made 5 centuries in the final there. But tonight, Elliot Slessor has opened up with one.
$101.
Yeah, and the shot on the
102.
pink, okay, the frame's over, but it was still perfectly played, perfectly made cannon. And what's been evident in this break is every single pot seems to be going right in the middle of the pocket. I don't think he's hit a knuckle at any stage in this break. This has been immaculate.
107.
Yeah, 16 seconds a shot
110.
so far. Just exuding confidence, showing his opponent, look, I'm bang up for this. I'm going to play well tonight. You'll have to do the same, regardless of your status.
114.
Yeah, I'm sure obviously they both will remember well that qualifier. Was such a high quality game in a round that's traditionally, you know, quite drawn out and
90.
edgy. It was all breaks in that final round of qualifying for the Crucible. Well, the pink
Elliot
stays
Slessor,
out,
119.
so the break ends at 109. Well, all Zhao Xintong did in that frame, he took a long red on, didn't get it, and sat the rest of it out. And we know in general his form has been excellent, of course, in the last event, but it's been the sort of season where, in a way, that doesn't seem to make any difference because every ranking event's been won by a different player. But he did play really well in Hong Kong. He had 9 centuries in the event, as I say, 5 in the final. And at times it was just breathtaking to watch.
Yeah, it's not really going anywhere fast, this, is it? But I wouldn't expect this to end up in a re-rack because there's no reds in the balk area, which is normally what causes a re-rack or a ball over the pocket. So players should be able to play their way out of this situation.
One.
Well, that's one way to end it. Pot that. What a pot that was to the middle. Yeah, Slessor didn't get it as safe as he thought.
Yeah, what a fantastic pot to open your account.
Seven.
So we've seen Elliot's in great form. This is Zhao Xintong's first opportunity. And he's going to need to get some work on the cue ball here. Yeah, didn't have enough angle there. Tried to play a little delicate cannon to leave himself on the red at the bottom of the pack, but didn't catch enough of the red, so that's end of break.
Zhao Xintong, 14.
Yeah, I like that shot. Okay, he may have left possible red here for Elliot, but he just didn't want to play a negative shot there. Didn't want to just roll into the reds or drop the cue ball on this back cushion. He wants the game to be open. Suits his style.
I think that felt good to Slessor, but it just didn't take. It will be interesting to see on either table if we get a close match, because they've all been one-sided so far, and of course that was the case at the Masters as well. Remember the first round at the Masters, every match finished 6-2 for whatever reason. The players who were beaten all underperformed.
1.
Well, that's another great red from Xintong to get back in.
Yeah, and this time he did have a bit more angle on the black, so he could go into the pack with some force. Not sure what's available. The red closest to the right middle. It looks a lot easier on your screens than it does to Zhao Xintong. This may pop, but I don't think he'll be able to play it with too much pace here. This is going to be sort of pocket weight, I would have thought.
9.
Yeah, no heroics there. Just make sure the red leave himself distance from the next red. He's such a great long potter. Doesn't have to worry about mid-distance pots.
Fourteen. 15.
Just got into the cue ball a little bit too much there. That's why he's close to the side cushion. He's going to have to get into the white again here quickly. Needs a cannon. Hold the cue ball here. He caught a bit of the red. Enough to leave himself a pot, but it's not been straightforward so far from Zhao Xintong. Can't quite get
22.
perfect position.
23.
But another lovely mid-range pot. And all of a sudden, the balls are opening up a little bit. Still a little bit of work to do to get in A1 position.
Thirty. 31.
Well, now just a lovely little angle he's got here. Just play a little cannon on this black. Just through the gap of the two reds. Just catch two reds at the same time here. Should bring everything into play. Yep, that's pretty much exactly how he played it.
38. 39.
He's a bit like the 3 times world champion on the other table, Mark Williams, isn't he? He just sort of has this easy way about the way he goes around the table, doesn't sort of overhit the balls at all, quite the opposite. As if it's all just easy, and of course we know it's brutally difficult in reality. Referee Radislav Matasiak getting this pink in position. Well, that's the ref cam getting close to the action.
Thank you. 45. "46. "53.
Well, just a pot or two away now from securing this frame. And what
54.
a fabulous break this has been. It worked so hard early on, but because of, like David says, his demeanour around the table, you wouldn't think it was a real big effort to win the frame at this visit. He just plods around the table. But this has been absolutely incredible, this break. Played so many good
61.
shots, lots of good positional shots. And he's levelled the scores in no time.
62.
Yeah, and has a chance to reply with a century of his own after Slessor's 119 in the opener. Shaping up, we've only had 2 frames, but it's shaping up to be a really good match, this.
67. 68.
Well, we have to recover here with this pink to continue the break. Not to be, but still a really good 68 from Zhao Xintong.
68 under frame.
And after just 22 minutes. And you wouldn't say there have been sort of glaring errors. It's been good play from either side. Xintong missed that long red in the first. Slessor made a century. And then Xintong potted a couple of great reds in that second frame, eventually made 68.
One.
Well, this is some standard of snooker these boys are playing so far tonight. You can't cue much better than that. That was a glaring example of how to strike the cue ball. Head was perfectly still there. But unfortunately, that great red is not going to lead to too many. Just misjudged the cannon there on the red. Looking for a full ball cannon on the red. He's closest to. Yeah, I just misjudged it. A shame.
Seven.
But we saw in the last frame, Zhao Xintong puts every safety shot under such scrutiny. Elliot didn't really play a bad shot in the previous frame, and Zhao Xintong potted a great red to the middle. Then after that, he sort of thought he'd got away with it, and Zhao Xintong sent one up into the yellow pocket. He basically got to leave him no pot whatsoever.
Elliot Slessor. 7.
Well, ordinarily that would be a decent safety shot from Elliot, but this red is available. More than likely going to take it on. Well, it was close, but not even Zhao Xintong can pot them all. So, chance here for Elliot.
One. Eight.
Of course, it's a great achievement to get in this event, but he has a chance to also be in the Tour Championship at the moment. He would be in because he's number 12. Of course, it's with the top 12 on
9.
the one-year list, but this event counts, the Welsh Open and the World Open as well, so that'll be another target. But if you're winning matches, then all of that, of course, looks after itself. And he's only just out top 16 on the official list. He's 22, so, you know, a strong finish
16.
in the run into Sheffield. You never know, he could even get to the Crucible without having to go through the qualifiers. What he wants is a trophy, though. You know, if you speak to Elliot, that is what he's absolutely targeting.
17.
Well, if he's on the red to middle, that's a great shot, but
24.
looks up with body language. It's sort of saying no, or it's extremely tight. Couldn't have hit them much better. It wasn't a great pack to go into, but with his cue power, he managed to open the reds nicely. And there you see, the red's not potable, so a little bit unlucky there. Sort of went about that quite nicely. He's got this red into the yellow pocket, but oh, this is tough.
Elliot Slessor, 24.
Yeah, it was a good effort. Always difficult to judge when the balls are close together. You never know when you go into the reds. You've got an element of control over the shot, but you always need that little bit of luck to land nicely on a ball.
One.
Well, red wriggled in, but now it's this cut back on the black. Red's everywhere as well if he misses. But he's not missed.
Eight.
He must feel pressure, because everybody does, but outwardly every shot just feels the same, whether it's really easy or really difficult. He just seems to get down and treat it the same way, which is a great way to be.
Nine.
Yeah, we've had many players over the years, haven't we, that are very easy on the eye. And I think Zhao Xintong definitely falls into that bracket. It's just an absolute pleasure to watch the way he strolls around the table. I think he's got
14.
the slowest walk in snooker Dave around the table.
I know, and he's still going at 18 seconds a shot, that's the thing. But yeah, it's a saunter, isn't it, really?
15.
So, Joe, do you think the Crucible Curse, of course, no first-time champions defended it. He's got that on his shoulders. Is it going to go this year?
Well, the same records are there to be broken, aren't they? You know, he's sort of coming into form at the right time, I think. You know, he carried the hand of world champion well this year, but without lifting too many trophies. But he won the last one. And, you know, I don't think it's the sort of thing that's going to affect him. It's not going to be playing heavy on his mind, is it, the Crucible Curse? He just doesn't seem
53.
that sort of character, or anything sort of sits on his mind for too long. So, yeah, this could be the year.
Yeah, I mean, if he can win the World Championship from the first qualifying round, which he did last year, then surely he can do so from the position of being defending champion. We'll find out in a couple of months. Right now, he's looking to mop these up and take a 2-1 lead.
31.
This frame is a prime example of why you need to be mentally tough
38.
in this game. Elliot Slessor was going along nicely on another day. He would have had a easy red to go at after opening the balls up, and
39.
he'd be still at the table winning this frame. But as it is, he's got to sit and watch Zhao Xintong. And the balls are nicely placed. It's not going to be a straightforward run to the winning line here. A couple of reds are a little bit awkward, which he's going to need.
46.
There's a little bit of hope left in this frame for Elliot.
47. $54. $55.
So this is where the real hard work starts. The red on the left of the table. There is plenty of room behind that if he wants to drop in behind there for leave the red choice of pockets. Looks like he's playing up. Well, I'm not sure that was intentional. I don't think he played to nudge that red, because I don't think he would have played it at that pace.
60.
So he may be forced now. He wants to keep this break going into playing a double here on the other difficult red on the side cushion. Well, maybe this red's potable, but this is tough.
Zhao Xintong 60.
So it breaks down at 60. Still plenty points on the table for Elliot. 29 behind, 51 remaining.
Thank you. One.
Well, just a reminder as we watch this that in 15 minutes time, 8 o'clock, we will be transferring our coverage from 5 to 5
6.
action. You can watch the match all night, but we will at 8 o'clock be transferring to 5 action.
Seven.
Well, has he got the angle? I don't think he's got the angle on the brown to dislodge the red. Can he get enough pace into the cue or to get behind it maybe, or worst case, leave a double That's what he's played. He's played to leave a dub on this red. Can play it in such a way. Take the cube down towards the
11.
black.
Wow, that was
Elliot
close.
Slessor,
I thought that was
11.
in. I think he did. Yeah, just caught the jaw.
Yeah, just taking a little bit of thinking time here. It looks like a pretty straightforward safety shot, but he's got to negotiate the red. Yeah, I was worried about the red cannoning into the yellow there. But that's okay. Couldn't really get a snooker of any description, but he's got a good cue ball. So a key safety battle now. The balls are nicely placed, so the next chance could possibly be the telling one. Wow, it looks pretty straightforward here. Get the cue ball up behind the green. It's all about judging the pace. It's a good line. How's the pace? There's nothing wrong with that. Great shot. Yeah, and it's not easy to hit because the blue's guarding the one cushion escape from the right hand side of the table, and he can't get to the left side because he's too close to the green, so it's going to be two cushions. And Elliot pointing his cue now. Hitting it shouldn't be a problem. Getting it safe, well, we'll see.
Well, he hasn't left it. He nearly potted it, but it was a good hit. So, a very different frame to the first two, where the losing player on both occasions didn't score a point. This is in the balance. Meanwhile, Mark Williams 3-0 up now on Barry Hawkins on table 2.
Well, he's hit it again, but as he left it this time, it's very thin to the left middle.
Make sure your phones are switched off, please. Thank you.
You might also be tempted by the possible double. Well, he's delicately knocked the red in, and the little kiss on the yellow hasn't affected things. So, quick look at the scoreboard. 19 ahead. Tells him he's going to need yellow, and then yellow and green to win the frame. And he's done well here, Zhao Xintong. He showed some nice touches in the tactical department. He sort of bossed that little bout of safety there.
Yeah, it's easy to obviously pick up on the eye-catching
5.
potting, but as you say, safety game is maybe better than people realise, and he has used it here to great effect. So the greenish frame ball.
8. $12. Zhao Xintong, 12.
Elliot
And
Slessor,
the frame.
he's walking out. He's seeing the end of this.
Oh, he didn't really get close to that one. It wasn't easy, but we're so used to seeing him knocking a high percentage of those. It's always a surprise to see him miss, especially by that sort of distance. Having missed it on the thick side, the cue ball hasn't travelled back up the other end of the table.
One.
Made sure the red didn't really, was just hoping that the natural path would take him onto the black there, and it wasn't the case. So Elliot just got we've seen
Elliot
before,
Slessor,
he can
1.
sort of just get a little bit on his own case at times. He hasn't done nothing wrong this evening, really. Just got to stay calm, keep believing. We know he's in good form after the first frame. This is where the mental side of the game is so important.
Yes, let's be honest, it's quite a wide gap between the sort of the different personalities. You've got Xintong, who doesn't seem to have a care in the world. Elliot Slessor would be the first to say he's far more intense. He sort of wears his heart on his sleeve. It's something he's definitely been working on.
1.
Well, any sort of pot he's just in the mood to go for and to get, isn't he, this evening?
Seven.
Welcome viewers to 5 Action. This is day 2 of Snooker's Players' Championship. A really interesting match between the world champion Zhao Xintong and Elliot Slessor. Slessor made a century in the first frame. Xintong has made breaks of 68 and 60 since. He leads 2-1. It's best of 11 to play Sean Murphy in the quarterfinals. Just a reminder for viewers on 5 to retune very shortly, because we will continue for the rest of the night on 5 Action. And this is shaping up to be a really good match. It's been high quality already. Possibly our first deciding frame finish, but it does continue for you live on 5 Action.
Zhao Xintong. 7.
But Xintong unable to continue there, so let's see if Slessor can get amongst them here. Yeah, a little shake of the head there. He didn't show much, does he, Xintong? But he was disappointed with that.
1.
Yeah, I think Elliot, I think he needed that. I'm not saying he's sort of cracking up just yet, but he's just starting to show little
6.
signs of disappointment. So we'll give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, seeing Zhao Xintong miss when he had an opportunity. Obviously,
7.
he has to capitalise on their mistakes, because, as we know, Zhao Xintong doesn't miss too many. So when he does, you've got to make the most of it. Well, I'll be looking for an angle now, you would think.
14.
Not sure there's a red available in that main bunch, or a plant of any kind, so nice angle on the next colour.
15.
Well, again, we know all about his cue power. He just needs to judge this one. Wow, that was incredible how hard he hit that ball. See, some players play that shot and hit it quite so
22.
hard, but the black seemed to just disappear in a flash there. He hit that so hard. That's a good sign of what a wonderful cueist he is, because a lot of people's cue actions sort of just can go wrong when you hit the ball that hard. But he held his form there.
23.
Just while he ponders this, Barry Hawkins did win that 4th frame on table 2, so it's 3-1 to Mark Williams at their mid-session interval. It only took about 45 minutes for them to get there.
Oh, important
30.
visit now for Elliot, this one. He's played well in this little mini session. He could go into the mid-session interval
31.
or square. I feel that his hard work has paid off. Must be careful now, though. These are the moments where you don't want to slip up. You've done all the hard work, promoting all the balls into nice puttable positions, and end up leaving it all for your opponent. So maximum concentration now for
37.
Elliot to see this one out.
$38.
Yes, in the matches that have been completed so far, let's be honest, the defeated players didn't, between them, play well, but so far tonight, both of these two have. It's been high quality. And I do think that match they played, it wasn't, okay, a big televised match, but it was to get to the Crucible.
45.
It was one of the biggest matches of the season for that reason. Remind you, they each had 3 centuries. They each had another 3
46.
breaks over 70. You know, it was all free-flowing and fluent and high quality. And tonight's been the same, really.
$53. $54.
Yeah, he's got top side of the blue. It wasn't absolutely imperative on that occasion because the red in balk is sort of there as a little bit of insurance should he drop wrong side of the blue, but he'd rather stay down this end, the scoring zone. He's close to the winning line now, so this has been a good visit from
59.
Elliot. 53 ahead, so red and black will put him mathematically safe, but he'd like to see another red
60.
disappear just to make sure. Yeah, and it has been a wonderful little mini session of snooker this. Both players in good form. Both players going for their shots.
Yeah, we know our colleague Stephen Hendry can be very direct with his
67.
opinions, but I suspect he'll have enjoyed this. It's been his sort of snooker. They've both been attacking. And Slessor looks like he's over the line. This red to make sure in this frame. In it goes.
68.
So 2-2 set up perfectly for the second half. Just a reminder of what I said earlier. They've each won 14 deciders this season. That means they're joint top of the list. So they're used to winning close matches, but who's going to prevail if this one goes all the way? We may well find
70.
out this evening. But this is an important break for Slessor. Just to get to the interval all square.
74.
Yeah, we'd have loved another century. Just didn't quite get the cannon. Can he still pop this
79.
red after all?
Elliot Slessor,
79 will do
79
fine. He opened with 100.
Couple of breaks of 60, sandwiched between that great century break to kick things off this evening from Elliot Slessor and a 79 to take us to the interval. So we're locked at 2 each, and this match promises to have a great finish. Of course, the one thing that links these two players very closely this season, they've played the most deciders of anyone on the tour, 14 each, and from the previous meeting, their only meeting in the World Championships, 10-8, that went very close indeed, an extremely high quality match as well. This game also looks to have all the ingredients of it going right down to the wire.
Yeah, first chance for Elliot coming in after the interval, so we'll want to try and get an advantage here straight away.
One.
Wow, if this black goes, that's some shot, Stephen, isn't it? Oh, I spoiled it already.
Well, I can tell you one person that was praying that the black did go. It would have been Elliot Slessor. Goodness me, that would have been an adventurous route to get to the black. Now, is he taking this yellow on? Well, every credit for staying aggressive. Was that perhaps too aggressive?
Elliot Slessor 1.
No, I like that choice of shot from Elliot. It shows, you know, how confident he's feeling out there. There's nothing wrong with taking on them shots if you fancy them.
Wow, what a mistake that is from Zhao Xintong. Trying to get back up to baulk with his cue ball. That is a huge misjudgment, and worse yet, he's left Elliot absolutely plumbing amongst them and developed the black.
1.
Yeah, and the way he's looked in the first session, then, you know, it's a great opportunity.
Matthew, one of the hardest things in snooker is belief. All the players can play to a high level, but when you're playing against the likes of Zhao Xintong, the world champion with that title above his name, you've got to really believe that you belong out there and believe that you can compete. And belief isn't something that Elliot Slessor seems to lack in. He backs himself.
Yeah, he does. You know, you can see the way he's been playing the last couple of seasons. You know, he always backs himself. He's a hard worker. And what I like about it, he doesn't settle for coming in, you know, getting to the semi-finals and quarter-finals. He wants to win an event, and for me, it's just a matter of time because he's got everything.
Yeah, do you know what? I saw that firsthand actually out in Saudi Arabia this season, course.
16.
One of the biggest prize money events we've got on the calendar, and I saw him shortly after he lost that semi-final to Neil Robertson in the Players' Lounge, and a bit of me wanted to congratulate him on his run to the semis, but I could see just how furious he was by the fact that he'd lost that semi-final, which
16.
tells a story in itself.
Yeah, that's right. Because I messaged him and said, you know, congratulations of you know, getting the semis of one of the biggest tournaments, and he messaged me back with a stinking message saying, "Well, you congratulated me before I lost." So, you know, that's one thing I like about Elliot. He's going to be a winner. It's only a matter of time.
Well, that pretty decent chance seemed to end prematurely there for Elliot Slessor. Sort of trudges back to his seat in disappointment. Well, this has got no legs. That's not going to reach. These tables are quick, but they're not that quick.
Yeah, unexpected miss there from Zhao. It wasn't easy, but straight away Elliot gets back to the table. So we'll hopefully make the most of this chance.
Thank you. 1.
Yeah, that's not bad. Nice little delicate cannon into the pack of reds here and hopefully stay on the red to the opposite corner. So one good shot here and he's got a great chance again. Yeah, that's well played.
8. Nine. Sixteen. Seventeen.
I played Elliot myself recently at the Scottish Open at the back end of last year, and to be honest,
23.
he absolutely schooled me there. And it was clear that you see these top players and how they operate. They never shy away from trying to create their own chances. They never rely on the
24.
mistakes from their opponent. They go out and seek their own and look to stay aggressive and get in, and that's exactly what Elliot does very consistently now. It's what you've got to do at the top level, isn't it? It's how you sustain a position at the top of the rankings, I suppose.
$31. $32.
So
39.
56 points ahead. There's a couple of reds, a couple of colours to be safe in this frame. So he's landed a little bit awkward here. I think he might have to screw up for the blue maybe, but he wants to really cannon the reds to open one or two more. But it's a big shot there.
$40.
To get in for this
Just come a little bit short on the yellow, so this is it's a tricky little shot just to hold for the red. Yeah, it's a big shot.
Okay.
Yeah, he's played it nicely, so
42.
just red and the black to go 67 ahead with 67 on. So needs one more awkward red.
$43.
Doesn't have the best of angles on this black. Just a trace, as you can see. But a theme of his game is his cue power, and again, okay, he hasn't got into the reds, but look at the zip on the cue ball off the cushion. He creates a tremendous amount of cue speed, doesn't he?
Wow, that's incredible cueing. He's hit that like a dream, but he was unlucky with the cannon and the pink. But the main thing is he got the pot, and he's still in control of this frame. He's 67 ahead with 67 on, so he's still looking good for this.
Elliot Slessor, 50.
Okay, so a break of 50 takes Slessor to the cusp of this frame, but he won't let his guard drop just yet. He knows that Zhao Xintong is still involved in this. It is still very much live. Try and do his best now to just shut up the shop, close this one out. Well, touching ball would massively help here. If Elliot would love to be able to get to this black, he might need all the tackle out for it, but if he can chip it to the cushion, that really would put the nail in the coffin to Zhao's chances of getting back into this frame. It was quite a clumsy error, really, wasn't it, from Zhao Xintong to leave the touching ball?
Yeah, it was, but it looks really awkward to get to the black, and the last thing he wants to do is feather the white or catch the red with his cue bridging over. But yeah, it was a bit careless, but I think he may have just got away with it. But he's in complete control of this frame. Just Zhao will be trying to create an opportunity to get back into the frame, but at the minute it doesn't look that way.
Of course, one thing we haven't had so far in this event is a really close game. All the matches, it seems that one player has played really well and the loser has really struggled. A lot of mistakes. Feels like we've got a real proper match on our hands this evening. Now can Slessor slot this one home? Not quite.
Oh, and it was the worst possible outcome. If you miss that shot, you want to miss it on the other side. So one good angle on the black here, and this could be it's a great chance here for Zhao, and you'd expect him to clear up 8 times out of 10. The way he's playing.
Eight. 9.
Well, I suppose the two reds
16.
closest together, just north of the pink, may present a slight problem for Zhao. Just wonder if either of them will pop
17.
without a cannon to them. But there's nothing safe on this table, and Elliot Slessor may be fearing the worst. You saw a little expression on his face as he headed back to his seat. Probably fancied Zhao to make a dent on this scoreboard at the very least. Now it's all about these two reds.
Yeah, you can see the way he played that black.
24.
He's got so much confidence in his ability of potting these tough reds. And by potting this red, obviously the other red clears itself. So it's if he gets this, then you'd definitely fancy him to clear up.
Zhao Xintong, 24.
Surprising miss. So Elliot be breathing a sigh of relief there. Just got to make sure of this red and he'd be very relieved.
Yeah, I can think of so many players on the tour that wouldn't have left that red to the corner pocket.
One.
But as you say, he completely backs himself. But on that occasion, it came to no prevail. So Elliot Slessor will be mightily relieved that he didn't have to win this frame again on a respot.
Six. Seven.
No, he does look really comfortable out there, doesn't he, Stephen? You know, as if he believes he wants to be out there now, and that's obviously comes with the results he's had the last couple of years. And like I said, he's desperate to win the tournament, and I just think it's a matter of time. You know, he believes in his own ability, and I for one would love to see him win the tournament sooner rather than later.
Elliot Slessor,
Well, he's got a
14,
great chance
under
to
frame.
land a big... And Elliot Slessor, you would say, is in control of this match here on table one. A possible big upset on the cards, you would feel, particularly the way that the world champion Zhao Xintong has played in recent months. He's lifted the World Grand Prix title very, very recently and played some superb snooker en route. Elliot Slessor really standing up to the task.
Yeah, Zhao's just slightly gone off the boil after the interval. We don't see that very often these days, but so maybe a chance here for Elliot to take advantage of that. You know, he's building with confidence. You know, after every shot, so he's looking good out there.
It's right what you said, though, Matthew, about Elliot looking comfortable and looking like he belongs out there on the big stage. Been a professional since 2013 now, and it feels like he's served his time as a professional snooker player, and feels like now is about the time he's going to make a good breakthrough. You look at this week, a lot of the players, okay, not all of them, but most of them have won tournaments to be in this event. Elliot hasn't got his hands on silverware, but it shows the consistency is there over the course of the season. As he thumps that long red in, what a pot that is.
One.
That's a great shot. Yeah, but like you said, Stephen, in a way, I think it's not a bad thing that he hasn't won a tournament early on in his career, because a lot of people expect you to carry on, you know, and win more. So I think that's made him a bit more hungry, you know, to get on the practice table, and hence why he's been, you know, getting to quarters and semis consistently. And I just think, like I said, it's a matter of time before he does, you know, get a trophy.
Well, with pots like that initial long red to get in here, who knows, it may be this week. Elliot Slessor notably striking the ball very, very crisply tonight.
Elliot Slessor, 4.
Well, that was a miss that no one expected. You could see Slessor was playing around with the mini extensions on the back of the cue. It was a bit of a stretch. He didn't look that comfortable. Absolutely furious with himself.
1.
Just slightly off balance, you can see there. The wrong side of the table for a left-hander. Just turned it over.
Blue ball.
And I wonder if we'll be looking back at that red come the end of play tonight as a possible turning point.
Yeah, it's a good recovery pot from Zhao after, you know, he played a bad shot on the opening red. Yeah, so he's got back to the table sooner than what he expected. It's a great chance to get a few points ahead in this frame.
7. Fourteen. 15.
The margins at the top of the game between the top players are magnified massively.
22.
It's the shots you're expected to get, the ones you miss,
23.
that can make the biggest impact. Those unforced errors, few and far between at the top level, but usually are heavily punished. As Zhao Xintong looks to get amongst the main cluster, doesn't look to have landed all that nice. Is he on a red?
30.
Yeah, there's no red score there. I think the only shot he's got to keep the break going is the double. But I do expect him to go for this double, Steve. Because he looks a little bit frustrated out there, and I think he needs something to happen. He's had a few chances which he's squandered. Obviously not like Zhao to do that, but let's see if he does play the double.
Well, surely he's not looking to try and flick this red onto the other and pot it into this left corner pocket. I'll tell you what, this would be some shot.
Oh, I can't believe he's playing this. Well, that's just. Yes, he's got the cue ball up towards the back end of the table, but I suppose in a way it was a shot to nothing, but that never looked on to me. But that's why I'm sat in the commentary box, I suppose.
Yeah, as you say, in some ways it was all about the cue ball there. Had the red have gone in, look at where he would have had to have played the green from. So it's a good job the red stayed out. And he's left Elliot Slessor with a little something to think about here. And he's pushed a red over the left corner pocket, now needs cover. And gets it.
Yeah, that was a bonus, and all of a sudden Zhao's in trouble. So can he pull off one of his long pots he's been getting all season? You know, this is one of his specialities, as you say. Yeah, it's a chance for Elliot. But this, this is a pressure shot because all the balls are there ready. So this is a big shot.
1.
Oh, he's played it nicely.
One. Four. Five.
Well, take a look at them bad boys, Matt. Are they a bit of you?
He's got some bottle to wear there, Elliot, hasn't he? I know his confidence has gone up the last couple of years, but I didn't think they'd gone up that much.
Yeah, you've got to be a pretty decent player to pull them off, that's for sure. Every credit to him.
Only joking, Elliot. You look lovely.
And he'll be certainly loving being
11.
back at the table, nicely in amongst them now. Having missed that initial red at the start of this frame, remember, to the left corner pocket when he looked to have a pretty decent scoring opportunity. Might have feared that Zhao Xintong would get back into this match. He's got a chance to keep him at arm's length here and extend his lead. This is a big frame.
Yeah, that's right.
60.
You do feel this is a massive visit for Elliot. If he can go 4-2 ahead, he'll have a little bit of leeway, and hopefully, press onto the finishing line. So it's you feel like this is a massive visit for Elliot.
Seventeen.
Yeah, that was nicely played. So back in prime position now. So just want him to keep his pace up around the table, because sometimes you can just think about the situation too much, and so it's keep your pace up and just try like it's in practice. But I know it's easier said than done. So, like I said, I think this is a massive visit.
Yeah, and there's the average shot time from
24.
both, 21 seconds each, which is still on the brisk side, but pre-interval they were down at 17, 18 seconds, so play has just slowed up somewhat.
25.
Of course, the balls can dictate how the game's played. It's a part of the game, isn't it, Matthew, that a lot of players overlook. It's very, very easy to get
32.
caught up in getting in the way of yourself out there, overthinking situations, overplaying shots. It's important to keep your natural rhythm, play
33.
instinctively, which is hard to do under pressure.
Oh, it's one of the most difficult things to do. I'm well known for slowing up when the pressure comes on. When you watch your match back, you can see how we've slowed up, and but it's really important to to keep your pace up, and it makes it a lot more easier. But like I said, it's easier said than done.
41.
So the lead goes to 22. These two reds in open play will be more than enough for Elliot Slessor.
49.
He's not one to lack for determination, is he, Elliot Slessor? You can see it in his eyes. You can see that focus, that intensity is always high. So this red and one more high-value colour
56.
numerically will be over the line. There you see, black's off the spot. Neither player have missed one tonight.
57.
Yeah, no heroics on this red. Just make sure the red, so Zhao doesn't come back to the table. Oh, he's missed it.
Elliot Slessor, 64.
Oh, he'll be kicking himself with that. Yes, he's ahead. Needing the snooker Zhao's, but disappointing miss.
1.
Yeah, and Zhao will look to take the 8 points available from that red, and the yellow is in a pretty decent position actually, low of its spot. If you can play the cue ball up into baulk, chance to get distance between cue ball and yellow. I just get the feeling that Elliot will be fearing that the next time he comes to the table he may well be welded to the back of the
8.
brown. He should be now.
Zhao Xintong, 8.
Always wise to try and send the object ball close to another colour. Makes the target smaller. Okay, the free ball doesn't come into play here because it's just the one snooker required. Good hit.
He's played that well. Shouldn't be any major issues getting out of this, but still just keeps the pressure on Elliot a little bit. Well, he knows he should have won the frame 3 or 4 minutes ago, so the Pressure does keep building when you give Zhao an opportunity to stay in the frame.
Yeah, of course we say frame ball is the one to get you numerically over the line, but frame ball in the player's mind is the extra one. The one that guarantees your opponent stays in their seat. Well, he didn't want that in,
2.
but he's knocked it in. He pots them even when he doesn't want to, Matt.
Zhao Xintong 2.
Yeah, I think that's the only time you want your opponent to pot one, isn't it?
Meanwhile, just to quickly update over on table 2, Mark Williams has steamed into a 5-1 lead over Barry Hawkins. It's been a very comprehensive performance from Mark Williams this evening. Again, it seems another very one-sided game over on table 2. Anything but here.
Three.
And that long green should dot the I's and cross the T's in this frame now for Elliot Slessor. 31 adrift with 22 on. And now the brown disappearing will guarantee that the frame does go the way of
7.
Elliot Slessor.
How did that blue reach the pocket? Some finish to this frame. Oh, well, you talk about cue power,
18.
Stephen.
The world champion Zhao Xintong needs a response. Elliot just round to have a look at this long red to left corner. Fancies going close to it, but more importantly, opportunity to land low on the black. Oh, what a pot that is.
How well has he cued this? I think that's all the hours of practice he says he's been putting in, because that you can't cue the ball any better than that. And he'll need an even better shot here in the black, because obviously there's more pressure on this. So this is a big shot here. It's a good pot, but didn't quite
8.
have the cue ball under control. But it was a very tough pot. But the main thing is he's still at the table and in control. But how does this red go?
Well, it's incredibly tight. He's had a good look at it. He seems to be gearing up to attempt this red to left corner. Might be one of those that the only part he can see is the potting angle. We'll soon see. Oh, great shot.
9.
Well, the first 3 shots of this little contribution have been right out of the top drawer for Elliot Slessor.
Yeah, he's come out. He's come out tonight, and you can tell he fancies the job, Stephen. You know, those 3 pots there was absolutely superb, and yeah, he's looking good yet again. Wow, and he's played another fantastic shot, very aggressive again. I think he
16.
may have come a little bit awkward.
Yeah, the intent was there. Looking to get right bang in amongst them once again, get the reds open. And he's made a pretty decent job of it. He's got another shot here that needs a little care and attention. Quite an orthodox bridge hand here. And another
17.
brilliant pot.
Yeah, that's absolutely superb, and now he's in prime position with a great chance.
$22.
Just got to mind his work now. Plan his way back down to this business end, the heavy scoring zone. His sights are set on how best to approach this little visit. I mean, this break of 22 so far, be one of the best breaks of 22 you'll ever see.
23.
And it's not going to finish here.
$26. $27.
Yeah, he's got a choice here. He could potentially go into the pack of reds, but there's one red directly above the black that goes, and what he's thinking here is if he can land low on that red, he can disturb other reds. So yeah, it's decision time here.
Well, has he travelled?
32.
The expression of a player often tells the story. I don't think he's on anything to this left corner pocket. Maybe just for the first time there, overplayed that shot. Spent a while to come to a decision on how best to approach it, and in the end, he played neither.
Elliot Slessor, 32.
Yeah, I'd be very disappointed with a shot in the blue, but you know he's still in control of this frame, and you know it was the best 32 break I've ever seen, but at least he didn't miss on that visit, so he hasn't gifted an opportunity to Zhao, so he's still in control and looking really good. It's a good safety shot from Zhao. I think he's covered all the reds.
Thank you.
And the way that the reds are spread, he's got to be very careful here because could be a counter attack. We could just catch a fine edge of the red, and that's a great response.
And again, another perfectly weighted safety shot. That cue ball very close to being slap bang underneath that baulk cushion. Over to you, Elliot. Well, he's caught it slightly thick. Is the green going to come to his rescue? Yes, it is.
Yeah, he's had a right result there. Yeah, he's got Zhao in a bit of trouble here unless he spotted a plant.
Yeah, there's two reds that may be close, but there is a bit of distance between them. Well, they're not set, you can see. The angle he's coming at them from, it may be the correct angle. Oh, goodness me.
Attention all pockets. I think he might have left Elliot a little bit awkward on this red. But, you know, with the coup power he's got, he could easily come up. Oh, he may be playing for the yellow in the middle because it looks dead straight.
One.
Well, how well has he done there, Elliot Slessor, to get on the green to the opposite middle pocket? Fabulous demonstration once again of the cue power that this man possesses. Well, here's a little look at how Elliot got in. A speculative plant to left corner. At one point, we didn't know where to look. There was a lot of moving parts there. Every red, it seems, moved. But more importantly for Elliot, none went in.
5.
I'm still drooling from the first red. The cue power he got onto it. It's incredible. I've been watching Elliot for many years. I didn't realise he had this much cue power. No, he's played this nicely. This absolutely inch perfect. So
7.
what an opportunity to make this a 5-2 lead and be in total control of this match.
8.
Yeah, the significant point to make would be if Elliot does convert this chance to 5-2, it would seem very unlikely that he wouldn't get a chance in the remaining 3 frames to get this match won. It feels like that man there, Zhao Xintong, would have to play lights out snooker. He's capable of it. But is it going to happen tonight?
Yeah, I think he did come back from 3 down to 4 to play against Mark Selby out in Hong Kong, I think it was. You know, I think he made a couple of centuries in the 90s, so Elliot will know that. Yeah, he can rattle off 4 frames in the matter of 25 minutes. So it's it's far from finished yet.
14.
But at the minute he's looking very, very good.
Well, a slight positional error there from Elliot. Top side of the blue was required and looks to have landed a touch straight. Next red may have to be played from distance. The pink is the big shot to play here. Blue is a sitter, a certainty, but pink gets him perfect. It's missable. But he's played it well, and that was brave. It was the right shot to play, and he knew it, and he fully committed to it, and now he gets his reward.
20.
Yeah, that shot just shows what a different player he has become in the last couple of years. He could have easily just played the
21.
blue half-heartedly and get the points on the board, but he played the right shot at the right time under a massive amount of pressure, because that was more or less frame ball, or it could have cost him the frame. So that's very, very good.
So this routine red and a high value colour to follow will be plenty enough for Elliot Slessor. And what a
28.
performance this has been so far tonight. The job is not yet done, but he's looking very, very good indeed. Well, just left himself a little something to do here with this pink unnecessarily. Okay, numerically once again
Slessor,
over the line,
28.
but that extra ball will annoy him, because that means that Zhao Xintong will certainly come back to the table.
Yeah, it's always annoying as a snooker player when you've already won the frame, but then you just make it slightly more difficult for yourself, and you miss, the important ball, to give your opponent an opportunity to get back to the table.
The good news is that, well, the good news for Elliot, really, Zhao Xintong needs blacks. He's going to lose 2 points by taking the blue here.
Six.
Yeah, I think he's come a little bit straight on this red to be able to play for the black, so you'll have to possibly play for the pink. Plenty of cue power needed here.
Seven.
Well, this pink has to go. And it has done. That's a good pot. So score check, 43 remaining. 1 snooker now to tie. And that was the difference
13.
with taking blue and pink. Just lost a few points there.
$14.
That was a clever little shot.
Well, he's missed the black, would you believe
Zhao
it?
Xintong,
I'm sure the nod will
14.
come. Well, he's allowing Elliot Slessor to come back to the table, but there'll be no way back now. Needed that black. Amazing miss, really, considering he wasn't doing anything with the cue ball there. Just pop the black for the points and fight on the final red.
Thank you.
Well, he's 11 points behind realistically, so 3 snookers required for Zhao Xintong on the final red. The potential of the free ball is always in play while that final red is on the table. Elliot Slessor obligated really to just try and run this red over a pocket, in or over.
He just settled for the safety shot in the end. That's a tremendous shot.
Again, a lovely touch there from Zhao Xintong. Little trace of right hand side on the cue ball just to check it up off the second cushion, kill the pace. Perfectly played. Needs a bit of slide, and he hasn't got it. So there's 4 points.
Zhao Xintong 4. Foul. Elliot Slessor 7.
Well, the
and a
snooker
French.
came from Elliot Slessor when... It's been a superb response from the man from Gateshead. From 2-1 down in this game, he's won the next 4 frames. And he's really taken this match by the scruff of its neck. Needs to see out the job now, though. Because you're never safe when this man is at the table.
1.
And as you mentioned, Matthew, in the previous frame, he can reel off frames so quickly. They can just go by in the blink of an eye, and Elliot will be wary of that.
Yeah, you never feel comfortable when Zhao Xintong's sat opposite you, no matter what the scoreline is. Like I said earlier, you can reel off 4 frames in the matter of 25 minutes. Like he did to Mark Selby, a couple of weeks ago. So it's
Like he did to me in Saudi Arabia as well. I thought you was going to slip that one in
Elliot
there.
Slessor 5.
oh, and all of a sudden we weren't watching, and he's potted a red going into the pack. So it's Elliot be
Foul.
really happy to go see that go in, because you know that could have been the frame gone in 5-6 minutes.
It's always the danger, isn't it, going into the reds full-blooded like that. You could never have foreseen a red finding the corner pocket. But as it happens, it doesn't look to have been too much damage done.
One. Four. Five. Ten. Eleven. $16.
Of course, he has played in this event before. Zhao Xintong, his only ever previous appearance came in 2022, where he then lost in round one as well. Not saying that's the case so far this evening, but something's going to have to change, and pretty quickly, for him to turn this match around.
$17.
Yeah, he just played a couple of poor positional shots then. He wanted to finish straight on that red a couple of times, and he's come a bit too far, so he needs to knock in a great blue here to keep the break going. Wow.
Well, he was on his way back to his seat there, Zhao Xintong.
G2.
He's missed that blue, but look at that. Tracked the whole way down the side rail. A little glance over Elliot Slessor in the arena. He didn't seem to appreciate that one. And you can understand why. What a time for that to happen.
23.
Right when it stuck Elliot right bang in amongst them. How big could that fluke be?
$28. $29.
There was an incredible moment last week, actually, at the Championship League event. Elliot Slessor played Wu Yize in the semi-finals, 2-1 up, looking good, 50 in front. Wu Yize had an outrageous fluke on a red to the middle pocket, cleared up, and then ended up winning the decider. So
36.
Elliot will be hoping that lightning doesn't strike twice.
37.
Yeah, it's amazing what can happen. You're only 5-2 ahead. You're just desperate for one good chance, and when Zhao's missed that long blue, you're thinking, "Oh, this is my chance." And 2 seconds later, you sat back down again. But you know, that's part of the game. It happens. It happens far too often, doesn't it?
44.
Yeah, and part of the difficult thing is how you respond, isn't it, yourself? You know, what Elliot's telling himself while he's sat in the seat is going to have a huge impact to how he responds to this situation. And no doubt the work he's doing off the table with his coach, Chris Henry. It's for moments like this, actually. Self-talk is everything out there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's easier said than done to hold yourself together in these situations, you know, with a chance to beat the world champion. You know, the chances are you will get another couple of chances, you know, to finish the game off, but you just want to get it done as soon as possible.
61. $68. 69.
Well, this now Zhao Xintong's highest break of the match so far.
76.
Plenty enough on for a century break.
77.
It's not just the flukes, the good run, it's the timing of them. Sometimes you can fluke outrageous balls and
84.
they mean nothing. That blue could be quite significant.
85.
Only time will tell.
$90. 92. 95. 99. 104.
It's 53rd century of the season, and what a time to make it. It keeps his
110.
hopes alive in this match. A great visit to the
117 in the
table
frame.
from Zhao. The task here for Elliot Slessor, erase that from memory. Nothing he could have done about that. Important to put the work in that he's been doing with his coach off the table in the temperament department. Clean the slate and go again. Well, it's a good safety shot from Zhao Xintong, cutting off a number of routes back to baulk for Elliot Slessor. Well, there's confirmation of Mark Williams, the Welsh potting machine, and goodness me, he's just potted some balls in that mini clearance to win that match over on table 2. He beats Barry Hawkins 6 frames to 2, potted a superb black there up into the yellow pocket from tight underneath the top cushion, so it's Willow through to the quarterfinals. One more place remains.
Yeah, poor safety from Elliot, but at first glance looks like he's got away with it. He might just have a thin snick into the right corner, but it does look awfully tight to me. Now then, one good positional shot here could open up this frame. You know, the way the balls are, it could be, you know, a great opportunity to build up a good lead. All about this first positional shot.
1.
Well, it was one of them as a player. You're just trusting the table to run absolutely bang true, and you could just see Elliot Slessor was up pretty quickly off that one. Just caught it a hair too thin, which meant the cue ball has tracked into the main cluster, and, well, he's landed in no man's land.
Thank you. Elliot Slessor, 1.
If he's taking this red onto the middle, what a tough shot. Yeah, that was never easy. But he felt that, you know, at 5-3 down, he needs to make something happen, so he's all out attack. And once again, half a chance for Elliot. One good positional shot, like I said earlier, and the balls are there.
Yeah, eggs and basket, the words that come to mind with that shot from Zhao Xintong. He had to put all of his into it. Fraught with danger, but would have surely been rewarded greatly had it have gone in.
One.
Yeah, he struck that beautifully, and he couldn't have wished for a better outcome. So just needs to hold himself together.
Now, interesting to see Elliot Slessor here coming round the back of the pocket. Good idea for anyone when a ball is tight. This is the true image of the shot from behind the pocket. This pink flies in, but it looks quite tight from where Elliot is there. And you can see its spot is available as well. Potable into middle and corner pockets. Well, he used every bit of pocket there, Elliot Slessor. He stayed with it. Just wriggles in.
Yeah, I think his heart skipped a little beat or two there. But as it is, you know, he's landed on the red he wanted to, and if he can manage to get on the black, that'll obviously respot and open the frame up. So one good positional shot here, and everything could open up.
8.
Yeah, he's okay. He's on the pink, so there's no rush to get the black back on the spot straight away. So yeah, he's looking good again.
Here's the pink past the red. You can see the pink missed the red by quite some distance, and only the pace really allowed that pink to drop. Any harder, it may have thought about staying out. That previous red there that Elliot's just played struck to perfection. And perfectly poised now. Of course, it's a chance midway through this game you would really fancy Elliot Slessor to take heavily. The fact that it's the frame
14.
he needs to get the job done just adds that little element of pressure. But he's a strong character.
$15.
Oh, he's landed in one place that he didn't want to there. This is horrible.
That was a gamble he didn't need to take. Potting the red. It's one of them where you fancy the outcome to be okay, but there is a chance it can go wrong, and this is very awkward. And he's paid the
Foul.
price.
Elliot Slessor 15. Zhao Xintong 7. Foul.
Wow. What a miss.
That's incredible. I've never seen Elliot move as fast as, fast as that ever before.
He was like a whip it out of his seat, wasn't he?
That's an amazing miss by Zhao. But like we always say, he's only human. So once again, a great opportunity here for Elliot to get over the line. Albeit it's not easy, but there's one red at the top of the bottom of the pack. If he can get on that one, that will clear the path for another couple of reds. And with every point that he managed to get on the board, the more confident he'll feel.
7.
So he could play a little cannon here onto the red left of the cluster, and that should work out perfectly.
And that is just a perfect example of not dwelling too much on your mistakes out there. Incredibly difficult to do, but that miss from Zhao Xintong, Elliot straight back to the table, may have still been thinking about the missed black from himself a few moments prior.
He just landed a little bit awkward. At first glance, I thought he could have just played the little cannon into the red to stay on the other red to the opposite corner, but he's got to play the black and trust a little bit of luck going into the pack. Big shot. Oh, there's so many things happening here,
14.
and he hasn't landed great on the red.
I just wonder if he's got a red right at the back of the cluster. Can he just get to the potting angle of it to the right corner pocket?
At first glance, it looks thin, tight, but the worst thing was when he played that black, he's knocked the red over the middle pocket, so... Well, I say that now, he's looking if this goes.
Would you believe it?
Elliot Slessor,
What a
14.
time for a miscue. Okay, having to just manipulate the cue ball somewhat, trying to swerve it round the reds and pink to pop the red over the middle pocket. Never for a moment would you imagine that you will miscue.
One. Seven. Eight.
Well, okay, still trailing in this frame, but that will be changed very quickly. These 5 reds by the pink, absolute sitters for any player on the tour, you would feel.
15.
Particularly someone of Zhao's class that scores so heavily, so effortlessly.
$16.
More importantly as well, the only safe-ish, semi-awkward red, the one closest to the right side cushion, that won't be required. There's enough in play to win the frame at this visit.
$23.
Yeah, Elliot be sat in his seat, suffering, because he knows he's had a
24.
couple of great chances to put this match to bed, so it's only going to get more difficult now. But he's still got to stay positive. He's still a frame ahead. If that's obviously if Zhao goes on and wins this frame.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you can look at it two ways. And as a player at the minute,
31.
I'm sure that Elliot's feeling a little bit cursed that he didn't land going into the pack from the black. But you think back to the chance that he had when he
22.
played the little cannon to the 2 reds. That's kind of the game punishing you for maybe a bad decision.
Yeah, like they say, the game never forgives you. You know, you miss 1 or 2 opportunities and
39.
then something goes wrong. But you know, you've had chances before that. But like I said, he's got to stay positive. He's, you know, he'd have taken this before the start of the
40.
match. So yeah, like I said, he's got to stay positive because I'm sure he will get another chance.
Yeah, the fact is, Zhao Xintong isn't playing lights-out snooker.
47.
Now you see it's a full house, 32-32 from both on the blacks off the spot, which is, you know, a shot
48.
that you should pot as a professional snooker player. You expect to pot, but it's those that are missed that can often be punished heavily, and tonight It's a full house in that department. So 31 the lead, red and blue, or red and pink.
54.
Any colour will do.
$55.
Nice angle on this black to get right in behind that red, and this game all of a sudden is getting a lot closer.
$62. Zhao Xintong, 62.
Yeah, still not completely out of this frame, just the one snooker to tie.
Okay, you can't account for the good fortune that Zhao Xintong had in the previous frame, that outrageous fluked blue. But Elliot did have a good scoring opportunity in this frame. Didn't have to allow for anything to go wrong early on. Sometimes in these big matches, in these pressurised moments, keeping it simple is often the best policy. And that red disappearing now.
On the frame.
And with it,
Zhao
Elliot's
Xintong.
has and why. The two previous frames no doubt will have frustrated him, but a chance to reset, respond. He's still in front in this game. He's still in control. It's in his hands. And he's playing well enough.
And once again, he leaves this shot to nothing off the break off. But he's missed it this time, so half a chance for Elliot. Yeah, it wasn't easy. There's a lot of pressure on it. At first glance, I'm not sure what he's left. Maybe a red into the green pocket. Yeah, there you see it. No, it looks wide to me. Has he left the gap for this red?
One.
Yeah, first chance for Elliot. Just needs to forget about those last two frames and hold himself together. Like I said earlier, it's a lot easier said than done. And that white's just travelled that extra couple of inches.
3.
Well, he likes to leave himself hampered over the top of a ball again. This couldn't be any more awkward. He's overrun that cue ball by quite some distance. One of the most awkward shots you can play as a player out there, bridging down, relying purely on your line of aim, so much so that Well, it's incredibly risky. If you miss it, surely you're bound to leave the red. I mean, the first problem is, how does he even get his bridge hand comfy on the table?
Well, I think it's sometimes in positions like this, you want to take on the red so much because you've played a poor positional shot. But for me, I think he needs to forget about this red and play a decent safety. But it's so awkward.
Elliot Slessor, 3.
I mean, it really was such a tough shot, that, from Elliot Slessor. How many times out of 10 would you pot that? Not many, I can assure you, if any.
Yeah, especially under the circumstances, Steve. It's like I said, you always feel you need to carry on the break when you've played a poor positional shot, but it's very difficult out there, believe you me.
It's just tough to keep your discipline, isn't it? You know the right shot is to play the safety shot, but you cannot bring yourself to surrender.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to force the issue when you don't really need to, but I've done it a million times before, so I can't say anything. It's such a difficult place out there, especially when you're in line to beat the world champion. Wasn't the best safety by Elliot, so Zhao, with a hand on the table, had a chance to pot this long red. But again, he's been missing quite a few long balls tonight.
Long pot success.
Well, that tells the story. 4 from 15 from Zhao Xintong. 8 from 14 from Elliot Slessor, which is marginally better, but down at 27%, the world champion on the long ones.
Yeah, you need to take a photo of that. That doesn't happen very often.
The trouble is, when the long game isn't quite on point, when the long ones aren't going in, quite often that means you're not creating your own chances. You're not getting in off your own doing. You're relying on the mistakes of your opponent, and at this level, those mistakes are few and far between. But the longer this game goes on, the more nervy it will become for both. Sean Murphy awaiting the winner of this match. I'm sure he would love to see it go the distance, see them both sweat it out.
Straight red here. This will test his queuing. Like we said, this long pot hasn't been good all night, so this is one of the more difficult ones he's been faced with. And once again, he's gone across the cue ball. Right, so half a chance here for Elliot. Nothing's easy now. What's happened after that? What's happened the last couple of frames?
Good shot from Elliot. Nicely played. And these chances are just becoming that little bit more difficult. And I know in some ways it may be down to the fact that he knows his opponent is not completely firing on all cylinders. He knows the chances are coming thick and fast. I can't ever remember a time Zhao Xintong's long game was as poor as it has been tonight. Wow, goodness me, the power he's injected into that blue. Absolutely bouncing off the bed of the table. Slap bang to the back of the pocket and straight back out. What a time for that to happen. Look at this, the blue bouncing en route to the pocket. At that pace, there is a chance that that can happen, but Elliot cannot believe it.
I actually thought that before he actually hit it, because he knew he had to give it so much power because it was practically straight, and he tried to create the angle to come around for the reds. But yeah, it's getting tense out there.
One. Zhao Xintong 1.
Well, once again, another miss from Zhao Xintong. Okay, it wasn't a sitter, but such a good potter. You expect him for that sort of shot. The contrast between the start of this match and the end, you would not believe it's the same game. The pressure has certainly mounted on both.
Well, it's like what happened next, isn't it? It seems like every shot that Elliot plays, there's something seems to happen. Yeah, but like what you were saying earlier about the difference between the first half and the second half, it just shows how difficult this game can be, especially when it gets close and coming towards the end. But as we were talking about, Zhao missing all the long pots, he cracks in an amazing pot, so he's back at the table with a good opportunity.
And it will make him feel good. He's seeking a little bit of inspiration out there. It's been quite a flat performance, the back end of this game. Okay, he's kept his hopes alive with breaks of 117 and 62, but that century break came from an outrageous fluke. The balls were all there. It's not been the most convincing performance from Zhao Xintong, but the difference is that Elliot has started to falter. The mistakes have started to come. And the little muttering to himself in his corner is just starting to show. Temperament is going to be tested tonight, massively.
Twelve. 13. 20. 21.
Well, that was a poor positional shot, really, to flirt anywhere close to the yellow. And he's had a result that he's landed, and he's got a shot to possibly top the cue ball through. But again, he's walked himself into a little spot of bother here, having to play the red from distance now. And, well, okay, the red to get in for this break was sublime. The ones prior have not been.
23.
Needs another one.
Another superb clean pot. It looks like he's landed perfect on the green. To come down the side of the bottom of the table, and yeah, I think the two reds by the black, they both pot, so yeah. We're slowly getting closer to the decider, Steve.
27. 28.
Still work to be done, and from what has gone before, you wouldn't be at all absolutely convinced that he will convert this chance. He should do, really, but there is just that air of doubt.
35.
Slessor, of course, will be praying for a mistake to come.
Thirty-six.
Yeah, that was a poor positional shot. I think he's landed more or less dead straight on the black, so I think the only option he's got is to leave the red into the centre next to the blue. And this is missable.
43. 44.
Yeah, made that look really easy, but he's still. Oh, he's on the pink, so he's got to drop this in dead weight. And yeah, this looks like a decider, so nervy times.
Well, Zhao Xintong thought the pink spot was held, and as you can see,
50.
it wasn't. Can he just turn this red over? Is it potable?
51.
Well, it was just, much to his relief. So 53 points the lead,
56.
51 remaining, so it is the one snooker required for Elliot Slessor, but the ball's nicely placed for that. Zhao Xintong desperately needs this red. And gets it.
57.
Good pot, because he knew what was coming. Had that red have stayed out, Elliot would have come back to the table and fought on for the snookers, but having seen it disappeared, no heroics needed here. Not obliged to take this yellow on, but I think he will do. Yeah, and in it goes, safely done.
$59. Zhao Xintong, 59.
Well, a sarcastic nod of the head from Elliot Slessor as that cue ball edged its way close to dropping into that corner pocket.
Frame
And the
considered.
concession
Frame
comes,
Zhao
so can Zhao Xintong convert this comeback to what feels like a pretty significant victory for him? He's been below par tonight. Still so tough to call. And on the balance of play, you have to make the world champion favourite now.
Yeah, that was not a bad chance early doors there, but every pot is difficult now after what's happened in the last 3 frames. It's the loneliest sport in the world when you're feeling like this.
$8. Thank you. 9. $16. Thank you. 17.
Well, you have to be fearing the worst if you're Elliot Slessor right now.
24.
From what's gone before, you just feel the momentum in this game has definitely swung.
25.
These great players, and they're all great players here this week, they don't keep missing balls, they don't keep making mistakes. Eventually something will click. And Zhao Xintong is hoping that something has clicked here.
$31.
Yeah, he's looking the stronger player at the moment. He's got He could go into the pack of the blue. I think that's the shot he'll play.
$36.
I decided to play for the loose red. But I think he'll still have the same problem. He'll need to go into the pack at some point, because I can't see any other red that goes.
$37.
Memories of a previous pack split, no doubt in the mind of the world champion, doing the right thing here, studying the pack for any obvious plants to corner pocket. Cannot even chance a red going in. They've opened well. He's just lost the cue ball to the side rail. Can he get through to the red to right corner?
42.
Well, it looks to be like he's on nothing, but for a very thin cutback. A possible lifeline for Elliot Slessor, who is keen to see what Zhao Xintong can play here. Oh, what a pot that is.
43.
Arguably one of the shots of the match, right when he needed it most. That is a tremendous pot to keep this break going, and perfectly placed on this brown. Great vision to see the red, great bottle to attempt it, and perfect execution.
47.
Yeah, that was some shot on the red, but I think he's landed in probably one of the worst spots here. Can he reach?
48.
Oh, what a shot that is. Made to look easy, but believe me, that wasn't.
$53.
Well, once again, some data really telling the story, particularly of the latter stage of this match.
54.
Elliot Slessor, yes, he has had the odd few chances, but the key has been that he hasn't been able to take them. And I'm a big believer of this game. It does have a funny way of punishing you at times. It never forgives you for mistakes or decisions you make. Listen, Elliot will know that. The balls could have been
56.
kinder, yes. An outrageous fluke in the 8th frame from Zhao Xintong really did start
57.
to set the path for this game. We thought it may be significant, and it's proved to be very.
60.
Well, not perfect on this red. The red he needs. Last chance saloon for Elliot Slessor. This red is match ball.
Thank you. 61.
Yeah, you have to feel for Elliot. Yeah, he's had some bad luck, but like you said, Stephen, he's had
65.
his chances, and he'll know that. Yeah, he's just it's going to be a long journey home, I'm afraid, and a couple of painful days ahead.
Zhao Xintong, 65.
Yeah, he feels obligated to carry on here, Elliot Slessor. 2 snookers required, but I get the impression he himself knows his fate in this game.
One.
Well, he's got half a chance here, Elliot, to at least
8.
register some points on the board, and critically, reds and blacks. Looking for 2 reds, 2 blacks
9.
here. Send the final red up the table, leave the cue ball in behind the black. Still half a chance, but desperate for a good snooker.
16. 17.
Well, all things considered, that was a brilliant pot on the red. Now, pot the black, just looking where best to leave his cue ball here. He would love to get distance between cue ball and object ball. And preferably, if Elliot can control the object ball, get it close to a colour up the table, weld the cue
24.
ball to the back of the black, every chance of a free ball too. Would love that
Elliot
red to
Slessor,
run.
24.
What a great visit to the table there from Elliot, considering what's happened. So he's given himself a slight chance to get back into the game, but you'd expect Zhao to hit this red. Or even pot it. No.
Well, it's a good pot, but he might find himself snookered once again here. Another great chance. Needs to be a good one. Needs the cue ball tight. Oh, has he got the snooker? I think he might have left the red here, you know.
Yet again, a great snooker from Elliot, but you'd expect Zhao to get the swerve. Yeah, good shot.
Well, it's quite a healthy target in that corner of the table now where the pink is. Elliot looking to get in behind it. Oh, a little glance off the pink has just saved his skin there. That cue ball may have been heading to the corner pocket otherwise. Okay, he hasn't got the snooker, but he is still in this frame. Well, all roads now for Elliot Slessor will lead in behind that pink if he can. A humongous target on the table. It carries its own risks though. May have to go close to potentially in off. But should he get the cue ball in behind that pink at some stage, it could be an absolute telling snooker. Well, he's made a valiant attempt here, Elliot Slessor. He's laid a few good snookers, but not quite good enough to force the penalty points. Can Zhao slot this red home? And up steps Elliot Slessor to offer his hand. Well